After months of waiting, Vultures 2 has finally dropped, and we are witnessing a complete mess and a dumpster fire of an album. There's a lot of reasons I'm saying this, and it really comes down to how it has been executed, because it has been executed really poorly. And I'm talking about the quality, and that's primarily it. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Vultures 2. So, it's about 16 tracks long, it's less than an hour long of runtime, and you're getting basically the sequel to Vultures 1. He released Vultures 1 around February, so it's been about 6 months. So you tell me you're gonna create something remotely the same quality as Vultures 1 within 5 to 6 months? Bullshit. It's not happening. And I was right. It didn't even come close to the same quality, actually. I think it's significantly worse.
Bruh.
Throughout the album, you're getting features like Lil Baby. You're getting features from like Cardi, Kodak Black. You're getting features from Don Toliver. Getting features from Future and a bunch of other artists. Really. Obviously, collab on between Ty Dolla and Kanye West, but you're getting those features and cool, but that's actually not the problem with the album. The problem is the mixing and mastering. Oh my goodness, some of these songs sound horrendous. Songs like Bomb, why are you putting that on the album? It's probably the worst song on the album, and it's not good. Like, this 4-track run from Husband to Lifestyle to Maybe and Bomb might be one of the worst track to track run I've ever seen on an album. If you listen to those songs, you know what I'm talking about, because those songs are absolutely atrocious. I wish I could play it, but I can't because I probably get copyrighted. But the songs are horrendous because some of them are mixed poorly, some of them are really repetitive, and Husband song is like about 2 minutes, and it's at the end of Lifestyle. Why? I don't know. And Husband's a terrible song. You put it on Lifestyle at the end, it just ruins that song too. Okay, and then you got songs like Bomb, where he has his daughters on there just saying the bomb over and over and over again, and it's a complete joke. And the mixing really is the biggest problem of this album. There's a lot of inconsistent mixing throughout the album, and it's very noticeable. When you're listening to music, like let's say these headphones, we're wearing quality headphones, you're listening to the album, you can hear the mess. You really can. It's actually very apparent when you're listening to it, because for certain sections throughout the album, some vocals are louder than the beat, and it's like, okay, whatever. And then sometimes the beat is louder than the vocals. It's like, okay. And then sometimes within the same song, it flip flops. It's like one verse, the vocal sounds louder than the beat, and then the next verse, it's vice versa. It's the complete opposite. And then sometimes the mixing just sounds horrible, as in they don't sound like they blend together well, and it just feels like someone just grabbed the beat with the speaker, and someone grabbed their iPhone and just started singing at the same time the beat was playing. That's what it sounded like a lot of the times throughout the album, and it's ridiculous. Kanye is known for having great production throughout his whole discography. Vultures 1's production is actually really good. I love the production in Vultures 1. So what happened here? It's like it's nowhere near the same quality. It's significantly worse. Vultures 1 I really liked. That album I give like a 7 out of 10. This album, I can't give it anything higher than a 4. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. This is not a good album. I liked about 7 songs out of 16. And like some of them I'm a little iffy on. But it's a mess. You know, you got some good songs on here, and then another problem with this album is that these diehard Kanye fans, I'll put it on the screen from Twitter and everything, they're complaining about leaks sounding worse than the official songs. I don't listen to leaks, right? So these people have listened to leaks and they're saying it's worse, and there might be some merit to that, because some of these songs again are just mixed so poorly. People were saying it sounds better the leaks, and I might believe them, because again, some of these songs are produced horribly, and it's just like, what really happened? You know, I thought we were getting so many delays for this album, the second one, volume 2, because they were perfecting their craft. They were trying to make it a body of work, and that's nowhere to be found. And it's a bit of a joke, and it's really sad. This is how it has to come out. And now I do not care about whatever Kanye has to do in the future. I think Kanye is just hurting himself the longer he continues doing this stuff. Really do. There's no benefit for him. The fans continuously just say he's ruining his legacy, he's ruining his discography, he's doing all this stuff. And then obviously you got comments saying, well, he made Graduation. It's like, okay, eventually that's gonna just not work anymore, because he can't make Graduation again. He can't make Graduation Part 2. He made Vultures Part 2, and look how where that got him. It's not good. And it's become a joke now that on their official website, Yeezy.com, they're saying they're gonna add a patch update. A patch update? What is this? Are we releasing games that are just not meant to be played? It just reminds me of games that come out on release day, and there's just so many bugs on there, and the developers are like, oh, we're gonna fix that within the next update. And it's like, are you giving us unfinished games? Because I feel like this is what Kanye did. He gave us an unfinished album, an unfinished product. And they're telling us that there's gonna be an update. Are we actually settling for unfinished music? It's a joke. This is a joke. If this becomes a trend, we might be fucked. Like, seriously. This might be a huge problem if artists are gonna start giving us unfinished music, and they'll just be like, well, we'll add an extra verse here, then we'll fix the mixing and mastering on this song, we'll add a feature here. A year later after the album comes out, it's like, that's not just, I can see it happening, and I don't like it. I don't think anyone's gonna like that, because why are you, imagine having the audacity to give your audience an unfinished product, especially when you're someone like Kanye, someone who's known for great production, putting shit out like that. That's not my Kanye, that's for sure. When people say they miss the old Kanye, yeah, so do I. I don't think old Kanye would put this stuff out when it's sounding unfinished. You have an album, part 2 to the first one, sounding worse and sounding unfinished. And this is a common complaint that people were saying on Twitter. They're like, the mixing sounds horrible on this song. This song could have been good if the mixing was good. It's crazy how there's a track on here called Isabella, interlude, for 8 seconds. I'd rather play that on repeat than listen to some of the other songs that are like 2 minutes long. That's a problem. That's a real big problem. This album isn't long. It could have been a solid album, yet it falls flat. The second half is significantly worse. Like, significantly worse. From tracks 7 onwards, it's bad. It gets real bad. I remember I was listening, I was like 5 tracks in, I'm like, okay, this has potential to be a really good album. And it gets really, really, really bad real quickly, to the point where I'm just like, I'm skipping songs when I first listened to it, because it came out like random in the night. It came out like at 1 in the morning my time. I'm going through it, and I'm just skipping a lot of the song. I'm going through half the song, and I'm like, if it doesn't get good enough by the half point of the track, I'm skipping it, because I can't be bothered for the good verse to be at the end and be like, oh, well, that saves it. No, I'm not waiting 2 minutes just for the good part of the song. You're either good throughout the whole song, or you're just trash. So a lot of these songs are either mid or trash, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's more trash than mid on here. And this is disappointing. You know, I like Kanye. I do. He's not my GOAT, but when people say they're GOAT, that's their GOAT. I do not question it. I don't question it. I think it's a good pick to have as a GOAT. But this just doesn't help him build his discography and further his legacy. You know, I think he's already established his legacy at this point. Every single time he drops, it just hurts it. I can't imagine the last thing he's done besides Donda that actually helped his career, helped his legacy. Because everything he's done, everything he's said, everything he's dropped, it's just people are always bashing him on Twitter, everything, and it's just like, it misses the mark for a lot of people, and it puts people in a down mood, because it's just like, Kanye's washed. And the truth is that he is washed. He's one of those rappers who's in his 50s that is known as one of the biggest rappers who would drop. Well, I don't really consider Kanye a rapper, but more as an artist, but he is also a rapper. But he would be considered one of those big people who drop, and I don't think this is going to sell well either. He's blackballed for obvious reasons. I don't think this album's selling more than 120K first week. And apparently Taylor Swift is also dropping, so I don't think this album's going number 1. And to be honest with you, he doesn't deserve it. Not after putting this unfinished album out, because it's a joke. It's a piece of shit. It's not a good album. It's not much replay value on here. I'm really going back to only like maybe 5 tracks on this album. I can't believe they're really going to make us wait for a patch update to fix with the mixing and mastering. What a joke.